Hey School Psychs, it's Bree with the Tech and School Psych Practice PLC, and today I'm going to show you how you can use Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel to help you write reports faster through this function called mail merge. And it's a lot of steps in the beginning, and it's a lot of work on the front end, but once you have your templates in place, it's going to save you a ton of time in writing reports. So that'll free up a lot of space for you to work with students one-on-one, maybe consult with some teachers or some kind of special project that you have been meaning to get around to this year. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to need is any template that you have for any assessment that you use regularly. And for today, I'm just going to use the math composite of the KTEA 3 as a quick way to show you how to set up a mail merge, and then you can apply that to your other templates and expand from there. Another thing that you're going to need is a set of tables that are generated through Q Global, Q Interactive, anything you've scored. The best way to transfer the information is through Microsoft Word. So if you have an assessment table that is a PDF, my best advice is before you even open that, if you want to consider doing this mail merge, right-click on the document before you open it, and then right-click and then click Open With and open that document with Microsoft Word and follow the prompts, and it'll generate that PDF and turn it into a Microsoft Word document. And then you can copy and paste, just like I'm going to show you soon, with that previous PDF document. The next thing you need for this is a blank Excel document. So open one up and then save it as whatever you like in a place that you're going to remember where it's at. All right, I have named this and saved it. And now I am ready to set up the Excel part of the mail merge. On this first sheet here, I like to call it mail merge. You don't have to change the name of that. It just lets me know that that's where the Word document is going to be pulling information to build itself or write itself. And then I'm going to open up another sheet and name this scores. And this is where I'm going to be copying and pasting the data from the table of scores that's been generated. And when you're doing a full assessment and you're writing the report for that, you're going to want to highlight a lot more areas than I'm going to do now. So for here, that would be the whole battery that I'd given this student at this time. But just to show you how this whole process works, I am only going to copy the math composite scores and the subtests within it. So I'm going to start highlighting here at the name of the composite and go over to the qualitative descriptor and work my way down and highlight those subtests within the composite. And then, oh, that didn't work. I'm going to copy those and go back to my Excel document on the scores tab and just highlight a big area and paste that table in. Click OK. Move that over so I know exactly what is what. And then I'm going to go and into this mail merge tab and make some labels for the different data points that I want in here. So for me, I like to report the standard scores and the percentile rank and the qualitative descriptor. Some of you may want to do the confidence interval, and you can easily add that in. For now, I'm only going to show you the three pieces of data that I would like, but once you get the hang of this, I'm sure you'll be able to add in a confidence interval if you like. So the first thing is I'm going to make some nicknames for the math composite and add that to the page over here. So for math composite, I'll go with mcomp, and the first piece of data that I want is the standard score. I'm going to go on over mcomp, and the next piece of data that I would want is the percentile rank. And then one more over, mcomp for that composite. I'm going to want the qualitative descriptor, QD. I'll widen those out a little bit. And now I'm going to show you how you can take the data here and link it here. So actually I'm going to go to this mail merge page, and under mcomp standard score, I'm going to hit the equal sign. And then I'm going to go back to my other score tab, click on a cell that has the standard score for the math composite, and make sure it highlights, does this animation, and hit enter. And now it pops up on the other side. And I'm going to keep doing that for the other areas in this composite, or the other pieces of data in this composite. So equals, then I'm going to click on that percentile rank and enter. I'm going to hit the equals sign, go over to the qualitative descriptor and hit enter. And the cool thing is now that you've linked these cells, they're always going to be linked unless you change it. So here, this standard score of 95, if I go in here and let's say it's a different standard score, I'll put in 79. And if you go back to this mail merge tab, it has been changed over here. So any information that you input here and you have it linked to cells, it's gonna pop up on the other side. And now I'm just gonna change it back to 95 so that it makes sense with the rest of the composite. And if you go back, it's there. To save some time, and so I don't bore you to death, I went in and I made code names for the other pieces of data within the composite. So for the two subtests, MCA standard score, so math concepts and applications. And then I did the percentile rank and the qualitative descriptor. And then for math calculation, I did the standard score, percentile rank, and qualitative descriptor. And I linked those cells. So now that I have the data in place, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this document and I will close it. Then I'm going to go back to my Word template and start connecting the Microsoft Word document to the Excel document to get all of that data over and in the right places. So what you're going to do is you're going to hit Mailings and click on Start Mail Merge and Letters. Then select Recipients and use an existing list. Now this existing list is that Excel document you just made, saved, and closed. Go ahead and find that document. And then you're going to click on it and then click Open. And so here you're going to want to select a table, and you're going to select the one for mail merge, the one where all of your data is going from left and right just in the two rows. So make sure that is highlighted and click OK. So now those two documents are connected. And the next step is to insert fields where you want the data that is in your spreadsheet to go when you generate your report. So for now, I'm just going to work on the math composite, and I'm going to click here right where I want the data to go, maybe give it some space, and I'm going to go to this area that says Insert Merge Field and click on that. And you'll notice that all of those code names that you gave for the math composite, standard score, the percentile rank, and all of the subtests, all of that data is going to be listed here. And so for the math composite, I'm going to click on the standard score, and it's going to input this set of text, and that's going to tell the computer that's where you want that number to go. So then I am going to space and make some room, and I'm going to insert another field, and that's going to be that percentile rank. And then make another space and put in where I want that qualitative descriptor. All right, and then I've started with the math concepts and application subtests, and I'm going to keep inputting those fields. Just for the percentile rank and the qualitative descriptor. And make sure you're doing the right code names in the right areas. It's always good to double check. I've done this a few times where I've put the same data in the same row, and then you have to go back and redo it. So it's better to just double check your work as you go along. So there's math calculation or math computation. I'm going to do the percentile rank and then the qualitative descriptor for that. And then I'm going to go and do the exact same thing, but go in the body of my text and input the information. So here, where the math composite fell within the XX range, I'm going to highlight this and then go into my merge field and go to that qualitative descriptor for the math composite and click it, and it's going to input that there. And then here for standard score, I'm going to highlight that and input the standard score for the math composite, space there, and then I'm going to highlight those X's and do the percentile rank. And so I will go ahead and do the exact same thing to go through the rest of this here for these subtests. The math concepts applications, that is in, there is the qualitative descriptor, the standard score, highlight, click that, and then highlight and click on the percentile rank. So I will go ahead and input the rest of that here and then move on to the next step. Okay, now my template has all of the fields input where they need to be and properly. And so the next thing to do is start generating that text, inputting the data and creating that part of your report. And so for here, I know we just did the numbers from the Excel sheet, and you can also go in and add extra titles and columns in your mail merge part of that Excel document for, say, student name or a pronoun or school grade, anything like that. You can add that in and make other fields for the document to write it in if you so choose to. That's another option, but today I just wanted to show you how to do those numbers, and then you can generalize that info from there. So now, again, we are on to creating your part of the report. So from mailings, we are going to click this Finish and Merge, and then Edit Individual Documents. And you click on Current Record, and the current record, when you click on that, that means just that one row of data that was transferred over from when you pasted the table into your Excel sheet. So it won't generate 100 different Word documents, only one based on that one row of information you have in there. So from there, you click OK, and voila, you have all of the scores input where you wanted them to. I've got the standard score, percentile rank, and the qualitative descriptor. I'm just going to get done. And so in here you'll notice that the same thing is in the body of the text. So double check that that information looks good, and then you can add in, the student name or the pronoun, write in your observations or statements of what the student could or couldn't do, and then copy and paste that into IEP Online. From here, it would also be wise to save this document just in case IEPO locks you out or any other crazy circumstance I'm sure we've all run into with IEP Online. Now that you've seen all the steps involved in making a mail merge template, I hope you're less intimidated by the process and hopefully inspired to go and play with the tool and make some of your own templates. If you're not as inspired but still want to use the tools, we're going to post some mail merge templates onto the Schoology page for you to use and apply in your own report writing practices. Thanks for sticking it out with me and following along with this brief tutorial. If you have any questions about mail merge, please feel free to ask me or anybody else on the Tech in School Psych Practice PLC. Thanks again for watching. Have a good day.